Neuroscientists talk a lot about how there are areas of the brain, if you make yourself do difficult things, these areas of the brain grow. They then allow you to handle difficult things, right?
Bible. Yeah, I mean, it's the greatest book ever written.
That's an incredible part of it, is that exercise improves your resting heart rate. It improves your HRV, right? It's a short-term stress for a greater reward. I was just making a post that evening routine is more important than morning routine.
Okay, good. Educate.
Because the best way to start the morning is by starting the night before.
I read the Bible every day because I want to know what God's up to. I mean, the Bible is more up to date than tomorrow's newspaper.
A lot of successful people have a routine. That's how you stay successful, really. You just do it. There's no secret sauce.
Welcome to Bending Over Backwards with James Adkins. I'm your host, Dr. James Adkins, where each week we take a deep dive into what it takes to break through barriers and change the game, whether that's in medicine, business, or life. You know, there's real things in the world to be considered about. So you're right. I think we, in the Western world, we focus on in medicine, we say we take care of the worried well, meaning people that are really well, but they're just worried all the time. And that's me. So I'm not lecturing to I have to fight worry in my life and getting up and ruminating on my problems. And for me, that's been a process of knowledge, meditation, exercise.
You're big on morning routine.
I'm big on morning routines because that kind of kickstarts my day. If I don't have a good morning routine, the whole day is a disaster for me. And you know, because you've seen me interview people, I think that that's an important thing. I love learning from people. What's your morning routine?
My morning routine, me and my boyfriend wake up about like 5:30.
So you're early too.
Yeah, I go to the gym, work out, get back home, walk our dog for 30, 45 minutes.
So you get outside,
Yeah.
which all that you're reading is really important. All the experts are saying.
And then
nature.
Just get home, eat, and then get ready for work and get in front of my computer, respond to emails.
You are a hard worker. You are. You're a
Thank
disciplined
you.
worker.
Thank you. And we talked about this too, that a lot of successful people, we've mentioned this a million times, a lot of successful people have routines, because if you have a routine, you have everything kind of scheduled out throughout the day, then you make sure you get to it. And that's how you stay successful, really. You just do it. There's no secret sauce.
So true. Just executing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's because things are going to pop up. I always thought early in my career when I was building my company and my practice, like one day it's going to get easy.
It does.
One day I'm going to be successful, financially successful in my practice. One day I'm going to get that perfect physician working with me or employee, or my life's I'm going to get married. The reality is there's going to be problems every day, isn't there? So if you have that, and sometimes it's bigger stuff pops up, real serious stuff. And I think that if you have that work done in the morning, if you've done that physical work, you've been out in nature, you've meditated, you've prayed, you've set the tone for your day, you just deal with it so much better. I know there's been literally years in my life when I didn't do that, when I was earlier in my career, and how a little thing could set me off and ruin my day versus, and it still does. I still have to fight that. But I think having that routine, just locking in the morning and getting that started, just really sets the tone. And you're right. It seems like every successful female entrepreneur I interview, male entrepreneur I interview, has something they're getting done early in the morning to get their day going.
Because throughout the day you're giving the energy to everybody else, and then if you have time for yourself in the morning, you kind of like collect yourself. Yeah. In a way. Because
how much energy does it take to win? Everything you've got. Yeah. Everything. It's, if you do not have energy, you are not going to be successful. It takes, that's an important ingredient to being effective at your job, isn't it? It takes energy.
Especially when you are your own boss and like you're an entrepreneur, because nobody's there to push you. So you have to push yourself. And if you have no energy and no motivation, it's really hard. Like I've been there. There's been weeks when you're like, oh my God,
how am I going to get through this?
I don't have it in me this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or during the day. You think about, I think about my confidence level during the day, how it varies depending on what I've eaten.
That too.
How much sleep did you have the night? Did you have too much red wine the night before? Did you, you're right. Your physio. You think about it, where your emotions come from, and your energy comes from. It's a chemical process that goes along with thinking. And if you have the wrong diet, if you've eaten the wrong food, if you haven't exercised recently, if you haven't slept correctly, you will have low energy. And you're right. Maybe that's a stereotype. The last thing I think a man, probably female too, but a male wants to be is weak, soft. And I think some of our society, it lends itself to making us feel that we're weak and that we're soft. I don't know if that's the internet or if that's life is so easy in the Western world. These neuroscientists talk a lot about how there are areas of the brain that if you do difficult things, if you make yourself do difficult things, these areas of the brain grow. And they then allow you to handle difficult things, right? If
like a cold plunge.
When you
put yourself in an uncomfortable situation.
So true.
I try to do this.
Do you do that frequently?
We had a membership and I used to do it quite often, but it's a little far off out of the way. But yeah, I love cold plunges.
Yeah.
You feel so great. It's like
invigorating.
Zen.
It's invigorating.
Yeah, and then what I like about it, I think it helped me develop a mindset of every time I do something challenging, it makes me better. So I try to challenge myself to do things that are uncomfortable, I don't want to do, or out of my comfort zone in a way of I would never do that.
Yeah.
I see results, and then the next thing is not as scary.
So once you've faced the dragon, it gets easier. I concur with that. I think I spent a fair amount of my life trying to avoid discomfort, and I think human beings sometimes try to. Yeah, but it's not good for you. I think I agree with you 100%. If
you get more confident.
You do, and you get tougher, not soft, because you've overcome those things. And I think people who avoid difficult things suffer. I think there's a challenge or a side effect to that.
I'm sure, because if you're constantly hiding and not facing the reality, for example, let's say it's their personal life and you're just running away and you're pretending you're in La La Land, eventually it's gonna bite you in the butt.
Catch up.
Yeah, it doesn't go away.
No.
The sooner you face it, the better it gets. The quicker it gets better.
Leaning in, right? Leaning into that.
It's just a part of life. I think maybe it's not talked about enough or wasn't talked about enough that it's totally okay to have problems in life. With social media especially, everybody is showing their perfect life. Everything is luxury and amazing. And I think people are so tired of it. And we always talk about it. I was just ask whatever, because people are so sick of it. Because it's not relatable. Nobody's just waking up perfect,
looking beautiful,
with makeup already, with curly,
There's no beauty screens on this. You don't use beauty screens for James. I have all kinds of wrinkles. I concur.
Yeah, and I think it's great that a lot of people showing the reality through social media or
admitting
talk about it.
Admitting, like a male, we talk about being weak. It is so true. I don't think I would have in a million years ever admitted, especially not on a podcast or to people, to strangers, that I face depression sometimes.
We all do that, but that's a part of life.
But most males will not admit that.
Yeah,
and I don't think 10 years ago I would have, 5 years ago, you're right. It's, we all go through those low moments and those depressive, anxiety-ridden moments and fear and a lack of confidence. Every human being, goes through that.
Yeah, even the most powerful people in the world.
True.
Because it's just a part of life. I feel like the more powerful you are, the lonelier it gets, the more depressing it gets, actually.
The old that's lonely at the top. You're right.
Yeah, and I mean, how many celebrities, commit suicide, or they're not they have everything. They have friends, they have quote unquote power, fame, beauty, they can buy whatever they want, they can go anywhere, but why? Because that's not what's fulfilling.
No. You need a purpose, don't you? I mean, human beings need a purpose. That's one of my favorite authors is Viktor Frankl, and he wrote a book. You probably have heard of him. He's the Austrian psychiatrist who was imprisoned in the Nazi death camps during World War II, and he wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. I love that book, and And basically he he talks in there extensively about logotherapy. I won't go into that, but essentially, in life, if you don't have a purpose that's bigger than you, I think most people are starting to figure this out. It's not as fun. We're more successful, we're happier, we're more grounded when we're doing things that are for a bigger purpose, right? That's no secret. And a physiological thing, a fact that I love when it comes to human beings is that there's immunologists that have measured your lymphocyte levels, a measure of your white blood cells and how effective they are in fighting off disease, and they've proven that when human beings consciously help another human being, your lymphocyte levels go up. Mm-hmm. So God, the universe, built us so that when we try to help other human beings, when we try to do something that is more than just for ourselves, we benefit physiologically. I think it's
That's really cool.
It's really cool. Yeah.
And I mean, it feels good to help others.
Feels
like,
good
how
to feel
fulfilling is
good.
it?
It does.
Like,
My life, that's for sure.
What book are you reading right now? I know you read the Bible, but I'm curious. I like to talk to successful guys. Books they're reading, kind of their morning. Two of my favorite questions. What's your morning routine? I'm going to ask you that. What do you do in the morning, and how you get yourself ready for the day? And then what book? Give me a book.
Well, what I do, in answering your question, when I wake up in the morning, I have the Bible out there, but I read the Wall Street Journal every day. I read the newspaper every day because I want to know what the world's up to. I read the Bible every day because I want to know what God's up to. And I mean, the Bible is more up to date than tomorrow's newspaper. So I do spend time in the morning, and I get to the office. I don't spend a lot of time on it, but I do. And I like to read books that are going to help me, in some way.
Me too.
Everybody's got different interests and everything.
So not a lot of fiction. You're reading nonfiction stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to help yourself, trying to grow.
John
trying to
Maxwell
educate.
books and Harvey Mackay and on how to improve and I like to read stories about other people and
biographies.
Yeah, biography like that.
Okay.
And
what about your morning? So your morning routine is in the Bible, and it's reading the.
I hit the Bible for a little bit, and then I do my work. My wife doesn't usually like me to share what time I get up in the morning, but I do get up pretty early, 3 o'clock. I start at 3. But I try to go to bed at 8. I'm trying to get 7 hours. I've been doing pretty well on 6, but I'm trying to get 7. I get up at 3. The advantage of getting up early, there's no interruptions.
Oh, yeah.
But I have to be careful about not texting. I know the other day I texted Billy Crystal, and he said, "Jimmy, quit waking me up," Billy got his start in person.
So give me some parting advice for a young businessman who's starting his business. Give me two or three pieces of advice. What would you give him?
I would say get a good mentor.
It really
Get
helps.
a mentor. There's an expression: a fool learns from experience, but the wise man learns from experience of others. Ben Feldman taught me that. He was a guy in the insurance business from East Liverpool, Ohio, that just sold lots of life insurance. And he had a lisp, and he was short, and he wasn't the most good-looking guy, but he knew how to get the job done. But a fool learns from experience. A wise man learns from the experience of others. But getting a mentor... Getting someone
so important. Why reinvent the wheel if you can? You can mentor. What am I trying to say? Yeah, you can just follow somebody's example. Why reinvent the wheel? Makes a ton of sense. I had some good mentors. What another piece of advice? What would you give?
The Bible.
The Bible.
Yeah, I mean, it's the greatest book ever written. It explains life better than any other way. And yet, I don't look at myself as religious, just that I have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I respect other people, what they believe in. And I just know this. I like what Rick Warren, he wrote the book, The Purpose-Driven Life, which I read often. I give many of them away. It's sold over 50 million copies. The Bible is not to increase our knowledge, but to change our life. And I think that's the key, the changes that take place in your life. And, among faith, hope, and love, it's about love. And that's the key, is loving one another. And that's what the world needs, is peace. And Muhammad, the thing that was amazing about him, he didn't go to Vietnam. He got criticized. When we honored Kevin Costner one night, Muhammad's sitting next to him. Kevin's up there, and he said, "You know, Muhammad, my dad hated you,
Yeah.
and I hated you."
Yeah.
He says, "You did not stand up for America."
Mm-hmm.
And then Kevin started talking. He says, "But you know, I realized that you gave up 4 years. That it was the highest earning capacity
was prime.
you had a cause, you had a purpose. It was a war we should never have been in Vietnam."
Mm-hmm.
And then Muhammad, when you carried that torch in the Olympic Games, and you climbed those steps, he said, "My dad really started realizing that you're a good person." And that's when and Muhammad, you know, he was hated for a long time, but then he was most loved guy. I mean, I'd take him to Suns games. I have seats on the wood. We'd walk in, 16,000 people give him a standing ovation, coming and leaving. Players on both sides, LeBron, Kobe, they come over, want to sit down, shake his hand, and then we would leave. And, you know, it's amazing because if I introduce you with your friend, if it's your wife, girlfriend, he would push you away, put his arm around your wife or girlfriend and say, "He's a fool, stay away from him." He was always joking around, constantly.
Lighthearted.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's clearly Muslim and you're Christian and you're friends. You were very close.
Well, we started the event. I'm on the board of the Barrel Neurological Institute. And our first press conference, we had Dr. Abe Lieberman, Muhammad Ali, and myself. We had the members of the media. And Dr. Lieberman said, "We have a Jew, a Muslim, and a Christian, and we're all getting along and we're not fighting." That's what he said at the first press conference.
Yeah.
And so...
It works.
Yeah, thank you.
Morning routine. That's something I like to know about people. How's your start? How do you do what's your normal?
Okay, so
normal
that's a
morning
funny
routine?
question, and I'll get to it absolutely. But just the caveat is, I was just making a post that evening routine is more important than morning routine.
Okay, good. Educate.
Because the best way to start the morning is by starting the night before.
So true.
Right, and it applies to work, business. It applies to your life. So if I stayed up and ate a box of cookies with milk and I went to bed at midnight, there's no morning routine that's going to save me.
No, that's a good point.
So that's my number one. The start of the morning routine, step one is the night before.
Okay, that's good.
But then I wake up naturally, no alarm. Usually wake up around 6:30. 10-minute meditation.
Okay.
Just
Now, is that guided meditation? You just sit and you're breathing?
no, it's just like a mantra.
Okay.
Mantra kind of meditation.
Okay.
It's a mantra that I heard on an outdoor high school trip.
Okay.
That I heard these guys, maybe it was me from the future, I don't know what it was, but I heard them say this thing, Amuram hum, Marugam hum, and it stayed in my mind since I was 12 years old.
Wow.
So that's what I say for 10 minutes.
Okay.
I try my best to
Stick on it.
stick on it. So I do that about 98% of mornings.
Okay.
Then I'll go downstairs, say hi to my wife, play with the cat a little bit, let her out in the backyard, and then I'll do a walk.
Okay. Walking.
20 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
And that's it.
Then you get into your work.
Then
day.
I get into my day.
Okay. Okay.
Then I get into
That's
my day.
I like the framing it the night before. I'm a habitual go to bed early guy. I'm in bed every night by 8:30. It's just
Okay,
it's who I am.
so then you're right on the money.
That's and it doesn't and if I go and I wake up at 4:30 every day, 4:30 every day of my life, no matter where I am in the world. So if I go to bed at midnight, I'm waking up at 4. I figured that out. It doesn't matter. I'm waking up at 4.
Yeah, you're so set.
I'm set, and so I have to. But the older I've gotten too, as I've gotten older, over 50, if I don't sleep, man, I can't even tell you how bad it is. I mean, the downstream, the effects on that. I started using creatine a little bit if I'm traveling. That seems to help me a little bit.
Yeah, great.
But it's important, and it does start the night before. I love that you're sharing that.
Yeah. And so what does your morning routine look
So
like?
I start the night before like you too.
Okay, great.
But I'm pretty habitual. I'm at the gym about 6 days a week, 5-6 days a week.
Great.
Sometimes 7. And so I have I do a lot of core work and some cardio, and then I use the sauna almost every day.
Beautiful.
For 20 minutes, and then I'll do a cold plunge about 3 or 4 days a week. So that's kind of my.
Oh, nice.
It takes a while, you know. I mean, I think about. I have this cognitive dissonance. I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm spending an hour and a half in the morning, you know, on myself. But it's my family's, you know, not there. I'm not taking time away from them.
It's you time.
It's me. It is me time, and I'm a better person when I do that.
That's a really beautiful thing. The cold plunge, getting into that routine. I've had a hard time Kind of, because you have to have your spot, right? It has to be
It's
set
gotta
up.
be accessible.
No excuse, but
Yeah, it does have to be accessible. And then I've heard, some guys will say, well, if you use the cold plunge after you exercise, maybe you're dampening the
hypertrophy
the hormone,
effects,
the growth hormone, or the testosterone effects. I'm like, well, that's not why I'm doing it.
yeah, you're not training to be Mr. Olympia, right?
I'm not.
Yeah, like because you can get bogged down in the science and like things will contradict others, but at the end of the day, do you feel good? Is it making you better?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
and really, that's what matters. And if and when we're successful, and success to us is getting like mass adoption, because that's the idea. How can we integrate this? Then we will have accomplished a ripple effect in the it sounds cheesy, but in the consciousness, right?
Yeah.
If 1% of people are a little more empathetic, a little more self-aware,
It matters, man. There is a collective consciousness in society. You can tell, depending on who's in the the presidency, you can feel a vibe in the locker room, can't you? You can feel a vibe everywhere you go. So I'm all in on that. I believe I'm an energy guy. I'm a Christian too, but I still believe I'm not afraid of energy. Human beings have energy. You can feel it. I mean, and if you've ever had a physics class, or you understand the basics behind that.
Absolutely. And like God, the source, is the ultimate energy. It's I see it as the field that binds us all.
Yeah.
And
you can't give that away when you're in a piss poor, badass mood and you don't know why.
Exactly. And you'll only be giving away what you are. So you're almost like a small nuclear facility that's leaking around your environment. And I've been that nuclear toxic place.
Talk to my staff or my family. They'll probably tell you.
Yeah, of course.
Go exercise. You're a nicer fellow when you exercise. That's for sure.
And that's an incredible part of it, is that exercise improves your resting heart rate. It improves your HRV, right? It's a short-term stress for a greater reward. And so
there is good stress.
One of our buddies in the app sits at his desk. He's a genius, and he just sits at his desk all day long. And his vibe scores are pretty mid. He has a passion for golf, though. And he started golfing, and by accident one day, not by accident, by fluke, he couldn't take the cart because there was no cart day. And he walked it. And that next day, his vibe score was like 96. And he said, I don't know what happened, but I walked the course. And because it's so funny that you don't correlate it immediately. It's almost like
that's interesting.
The ego wants to make sure that that today's the same as yesterday, not tomorrow. Wow. And so I said, you were walking, dude. You did like 25,000 steps.
Yeah.
And now he's walking the course 3 days a week.
That is so interesting you say that. I stopped golfing. I'm a kite surfer. And golfing and kite surfing are hard on your low back. So I couldn't do both.
You had to choose
but
one
of the things I noticed towards the end of my time playing golf, I played for about 20 years, was that when I would walk, I played so much better. And I couldn't figure that out. I'm like, well, I'm tracking the ball. I know that, but you're relaxed. I was a hacker. So you'd hack, get in the cart and fume over hacking. Missed that last shot.
Yeah. And you ruminate.
Yeah. Instead of enjoying the day and exercising and walking. So that's And who could make the connection?
It's not that simple, especially it's really hard to make the connection when you're in an inflamed state.
Yeah.
You just hacked the ball. You sent it 12 yards. Yeah. You're pissed off. You get in, but the walking to the next, walking is almost like an exhaust.
Yeah.
It's relieving that anxiety, and then you can go up and then.
Breathing's important, isn't it?
It really is. How into breathing are you?
Big time. I do all the time, every day, all day. I'm having to breathe because it slows my heart rate down and can slow down. Activate the parasympathetics.
Absolutely.
All the stuff you're
do you have
doing.
A specific kind of box?
I like Andrew Weil. I do box breathing, but Andrew Weil stuff from down in. He wrote. He was down at University of Tucson. He wrote a book called The Seven. What the heck was it? Andrew Weil. Anyway, he's a physician author that I like, Andrew Weil, and he wrote a book and talked about the 4-7-8 breathing. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8.
Love that.
Loudly. I've read some of the stuff the Navy SEALs talk about their box breathing.
Sure, yeah.
Activate, yeah. Do you have a question I ask most every guest? Do you have a morning routine that you do to kind of set your day, or you meditate, you pray, you exercise, what do you do?
I'm so glad you asked the question, because mornings are very sacred to me, and it's almost a ministry. And so I do have the gift to be able to wake up and I don't turn my phone on for a good hour. And I use that time to really be with myself and elevate myself for the day. So how that looks is I'm reading some devotions. I'm reading like, either Bible scriptures or something that's spiritual.
Wisdom literature.
Inspirational things. But I'm usually like standing. So I have a 5-foot LED panel light that I stand in front of every morning. So while I'm reading, when my back's to it, I read. And then I turn around and I do my other side for 10 minutes. So that's like a 20-minute process, but 10 minutes of it.
So like a phototherapy you're doing while you're reading? Is that kind
It's just LED light for my mitochondria function. So it boosts that. So it's like part of my morning wake up. So one of my challenges in this chapter of my life is adrenal fatigue. And so it just helps with that.
Yeah.
But I like maximizing. So I'm like, well, I can read my devotions while I'm doing.
While you're getting your phototherapy.
While I'm doing my phototherapy. Yeah. And so it's really that. It's like drinking my, okay, you're going to laugh, but I'm all about the laughs. I drink this broth that I make, and it's veal knuckle.
Veal knuckle.
So I actually
My wife drinks bone broth.
Well, it is a bone broth.
Okay.
But it's the veal knuckle broth, which I get at the Scottsdale Meat Market, because the veal knuckle, it's a baby calf, and so it has the most collagen fibers.
Chondrocytes or something. Okay.
Versus a grown calf. And so, anyways, I put lemon in it, and so I've just got a whole ministry.
You got a big morning routine.
I do. And then I'm finally have my coffee. And of course I got my cats, and like I'm, giving them affirmations, telling them that they're amazing, that they're healthy, that they're healing. I have a whole hour to myself.
Good.
But it's really nice.
It's good stuff.
What are the good things we have going on? I mean, we're healthy. We live in an amazing place. We get to travel. We, whatever it is, we have great friends. It doesn't have to be monetary. I mean, because honestly, like I know what it's like not to have that. So I position him in places where we can have simple fun. And then he realizes, you know what? Life isn't just about the things I thought I needed to have to be happy. There's an expansive tray of choices, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to choose?
Yeah. There's so much.
You've got lots of choices, James.
I'm very blessed. You think you get up every day, you're healthy. I mean, first of all, it's your health, and your family's healthy. I mean, what a blessing. But we do get into those patterns. I mean, to dovetail on something you just said about kind of putting people in a box and judging people. I think the reality is most of us are going through something. When you interface with somebody at the grocery store and they frown at you, you're like, oh, look, that guy's something's wrong with him. No, he's just going through something, right? Trying to understand. I guess my evolution as a human being is just trying to realize most people are going through something.
Yes, and thank you for saying that example of the grocery store and the guy with the scowl on his face, because I've witnessed that, and I've even experimented with, going into a public space and smiling at people just because I want to smile at them, right? And I get one of the two responses that either smile back and they're just like it makes them happy, might have like shift something in their mind for a moment, or they're just like, they scowl more, And I'm like, okay, but this is a testament to like, we get to choose. Yeah. Like, do you want to be poopy and droopy, or do you want to be choice. Like, like thinking like, I'm going to have a good time here. Right. Yeah. But if I could just impart something that you triggered for me in terms of, like you said, we're all going through something. And this is something that I've been playing with. I say that we can all listen for each other's greatness. And it's like a simple thing that I do, but I feel like when I'm engaging with people in my day-to-day life, maybe someone had a bad day, right? Okay, well, when they come to me and we're having a discussion, instead of taking in that energy of what they're bringing, I choose to listen to their greatness. So what that means is that I will listen to you as you are worthwhile, you are light, you are lovely, you are joyful, you are amazing, like you have potential, like you are the one and only. And I have just played with that experientially, and it kind of
shifts the energy,
shifts the energy,
vibration,
and the demeanor
Yeah.
in someone. And I'm like, kind of like, wow, is that?
I can make a frowning person smile. It's having
Yeah.
a cranky
And I'm
day.
not even saying a word. It's like how I listen to them. So it's just like what I'm giving you. Is it like I'm giving you a space to just show up differently? I don't know. But these are simple things.
Yeah, it's an energy transfer. You're giving them good vibes, right?
Perhaps.
Giving them good energy.
Yeah, and I just say in day-to-day life, we can perhaps listen to people differently because why not? I can listen to you as, an angry, resentful, painful man, or I can listen to you as something else that is enlightening and joyful and has like opportunity, right?
I
Potential.
tell my wife and my family that when I come home in a cranky mood, that I'm just see me in a different light, darling.
I know. And I know it sounds maybe very like simplistic, but I'm just finding that I'm able to find these tools and make an impact for myself, but also for the people that I come in encounter with.
Yeah, because you're not judging that energy they're getting. It's hard. One of the things I struggle with is when somebody's negative around me a lot, and they're just sucking energy out of me. I feel like all the time, and they're negative all the time, and I fight with that because I had to overcome that as a child. I wanted to be that glass is half full, not half empty child. And so when someone's around me spilling negativity all the time, it seems like every time I'm around them, I have a hard time with that. And I love the tool you're describing of just letting that slide off you and just listening. What's great about this person today? This negative cesspool of complaining. There's this beauty in this person, and maybe because you interface with them that way, they start getting those vibes back. It's just positive. There's no.
Right. I mean, it's worth playing with. And I have found that sometimes it works instantly and then sometimes it doesn't. But what I found when it doesn't work, it kind of like quiets that person because I think maybe subconsciously they know I'm not listening to the junk and they want to just spew their junk, right? But I'm not going to entertain it like without saying a word.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen today.
Right?
Nobody knows.
I mean, yeah. So let's make it good trouble, right?